means to me they're gonna put a lot of chips behind him.
LaMelo Ball. Zion.
That's to be honest, like, because they don't sign a lot of young artists.
The thought I just had, think about the pool of prospects. You know what I mean?
Good. No, I don't think I'm in that place yet where I can. Because any investment is taking a risk, no matter how good it looks right now.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it, I'd rather risk when I don't have that much. I'd rather risk it on myself than in a system or a platform that is, what's the word?
Risky.
Yeah, that is risky and that
volatile.
I don't a platform that I don't control myself.
Yeah. You kind of do though, especially with crypto. Like
You
control
do,
the buy
but you
and
don't
sell.
at the same time. So like,
Yeah.
because I'm not saying that it's not a smart investment. I'm just saying I feel like investing in myself and in my business is smarter than investing in that.
For you,
Like,
but
for me,
unless crypto and trading was your business,
right.
Because you can. I
If
mean,
that was my business, then it wouldn't make sense for me to go and buy music equipment.
Yeah.
I was,
because the risk really comes in a lack of education. Like everybody's investing in crypto because it's like cool right now, but it's a very easy and quick way to lose money. It's a very easy way. Like if you want to lose money, try to trade without knowing anything. That's the quickest way to lose money. You might gain some knowledge, but you're gonna lose dollars for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially with the way the stuff going right now, bro. Man.
Yeah, I just. Well, welcome to Real Nonsense. I am your co-host.
Co-host.
JC.
Duet.
Right.
Duet.
Yeah,
Jay Clark.
We
You know what I'm
missing
saying?
our third person. Hopefully he gonna watch this and be like,
Yeah, I should have been there. I should have been there. Heck, you know.
But we really just in conversation right now,
Yeah.
which is actually usual for all three of us, to be honest.
I mean, you came with the pitch of the topic in the group chat about prices and setting prices.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that's been a lot of people been talking about that though.
Well, because my sister even called me last night and was like, she dancing for somebody. I'm not even gonna tell her all her business, but she was just basically like, how do I know that I'm charging a fair price? And it's really ironic that she called and asked me that, because she knows that I charge people for many different services. I do some consulting, I do some producing stuff, I make tracks and sell them, sell beats, I record and engineer for people, people send me stuff. So I do, it's on a larger scale than just as simple as, one service of recording and that's it. But I just, let her know. I said, when people are paying for you, they aren't only paying for time. And that's what a lot of people, even when they come and record sessions, they think, oh, I'm just paying for the time. No, you're paying for all them years I had to set up sound equipment for my dad's church,
Man.
and I was learning how to run all of this stuff. Or the times that I would have, come bring people in here for free. The year like training that I did for myself, I was bringing people in here for free, and I was here sometimes till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So you're not only paying for that, you're also paying for my talent and my gift and my ear to have the ability to hear that something needs to be different, that something needs to change. So there's a lot of different things to factor in when you're talking about charging certain prices. And you also have to look at the market on what the market charges. Now, there are certain exceptions, because if the value of your product is here and everybody else's is here, then of course there is a price difference, and there should be a price difference.
Yeah.
However, if the quality of what you're producing is here and everybody else's is here, even if it's slightly lower, and you charging prices like you all the way up here, it's not really gonna make sense. And some people will pay it,
Yeah.
But
We talked about too, like if the market pays it, if the customer pays
if the
it,
customer pays it,
then the creator, the
but what do we
producers.
see? Well, I can speak for Kankakee County alone.
A
What do we see
growing
consistently
county.
with black? Right.
Yeah.
Consistently with black-owned businesses.
What do we see? We consistently see people on which side? On which side?
I'll
From the
speak
business
to-
side or the customer side?
Both.
On the business side, I feel like we consistently see challenges. We consistently see, and I haven't had necessarily a black-owned operating business in Kankakee, but I consistently see people challenging the black business to come to the level of the other businesses, and it's not really fair. It's like they don't have the same tools, they don't have the background. It's kind of let an excuse for them, but like these other businesses, we can't compare 5-star wings to Wingstop per se when they first opened. Maybe 10 years down the road in quality, but that's just not fair. It's not fair to compare like a business has been operating for 50 years to one that just opened in your hometown. Like, give them that support initially, but don't challenge them. Like, maybe offer improvements or suggestions, but don't bash them on the social media platforms. Like, it's just the right and wrong way to do it. But from a customer side, black-owned businesses, I think we've seen a lot of the same businesses from the customer side. You know what I mean? I think we've seen a lot of the same types of businesses open. If anything, we want to see different type of businesses open, like different niches of businesses that we want to see. We kind of are tired of like the chicken spots. We have plenty of barbershops of, stuff like that, but we need different niches of business, different types of businesses that can invite our community in. You know what I mean? What do you say though? Black-owned businesses, and they've come and gone. We've had
A lot.
We had plenty, plenty.
And I'll speak to even just the restaurant side of stuff, because I went to culinary school and I worked in like fine dining. I've also worked at Olivet. So I've seen a very vast. I worked somewhere everywhere. I worked at the Huddle. I worked somewhere everywhere. So I've seen a very vast majority of kitchens and how.
You worked at the Huddle? I didn't know that.
When they first opened, I worked there for. Dang.
You seasoned, my boy.
I worked. It was this sort of very first kitchen job I had was downtown Chicago. It was called Eggy's. It was in a Lakeshore Drive apartment or condos. So if you go downtown and you go up Michigan and Randolph, you know where Randolph goes up past Millennium Park, where Randolph goes like uphill.
I get you.
So it was like back there in those $400,000 condos.
Yeah.
So I worked there, and the owners of that restaurant had another restaurant upstairs that was fine dining. It was a French name. It was like E2 something. I forget the name of it. But basically, this restaurant had like a marble wall. And this was the type of restaurant you needed a reservation in order to have dinner there, unless you was somebody amazing.
Somebody who's somebody.
Right, somebody who's somebody. But so I had seen a lot of restaurants, grow from the starting point. I've seen a lot of restaurants programs or systems that are within the works after being there for 30, 40 years at Olivet or whatever. And so when even just the simple things of, I remember I would ask black restaurant owners here or catering companies here, do you have a recipe book? That's probably the most, in running a restaurant, having a recipe book is probably the most important thing. However, because we've been stolen from so much, because we have a fear that somebody's going to take our idea, they want to be the only ones that have that knowledge. And they only tell people they may trust.
That's not scalable either.
That's not scalable. So because now you have to be there and doing that service or whatever, cooking that recipe, because you're the only one that know.
Yeah.
And
that's the death of the restaurant owner.
Right. And not only that,
love it, I guess.
Not even only that, because you don't make it consistently. Because when you have a recipe down pat, you write it down. Yeah. So this time, 4 teaspoons of salt or whatever. One day you might be feeling a little different and you add a little bit more salt, and then all of a sudden you go back and you like, this don't taste the same.
That's like running a business with no business plan. You gotta have that reference point. 100%. That makes a lot of sense.
Like when I look at that, and if there were some promising catering black-owned businesses that came through Kankakee, and I would ask, I would order from them. Like, how they do, a lot of people do like the dinners, and I'm not knocking it. They do the dinners and they sell them from out their house. That's a way to start.
I'll knock it.
I would knock that because that's how a lot of businesses start. That's how a lot of restaurants start. They start selling the dinners like out of their house.
That's not sustainable either though. Like,
I know, but that's how they start. So you got like you said, you got to start somewhere. Like with the 5, like you got to start somewhere. But the thing that I'm knocking is if I eat your food one time and it tastes like I love it, it's great, it tastes good, and I go the next time and it tastes completely different. I get the same thing and it tastes completely different. I know for a fact you don't got a recipe book, or whoever cooking it can't execute it.
That's very disappointing too, because when you get something and you like it of high quality, experience, a taste, that's the reason you went back. And if it tastes all for different, that's not going.
Yeah,
that's not going to be.
And right, so like it's just when I see that, I know or even just when it comes to running a restaurant, like running a kitchen, knowing how to have a prepper, knowing how to have line cooks, knowing how to have, because we see all the time, black-owned restaurants, they operate as if they're a catering business.
Yeah.
They pre-cook everything.
Yeah.
And then they just scoop it like it's a buffet.
And then a lot of their niches end up going to catering because that's the market they really like prepared to serve without realizing it. You know what I mean? It'd be crazy. There's a restaurant in particular in Hazelcrest that's just like that, bro.
Yeah.
It's like the owner believes she's like running a Subway, but in reality she's running more of like what's that sandwich spot?
Which one?
Honey cut ham or whatever.
Honey baked ham?
Yeah. I'm like, every time I go in there, she has like big boxes of orders. Like she's always focused on the catering. Oh, I got this catering order going. I got this catering order going out. But she has like a regular menu too, and does like delivery with DoorDash and everything. But it's just like it's all.
And see,
over
the catering. I mean, to speak to that fact, the catering is a good business because there's really no overhead. Every time you operate, you're making a profit.
Facts, because it's dollar for
right.
Whatever.
So instead of having to pay a salary, pay utilities, pay all of that stuff, you have a catering business. The money comes from you. Every time you operate, you just making a profit.
Is it messy though? And in the restaurant business. Is it messy to try to do both? Like, wouldn't you be better off specializing in one or the other?
It becomes chaotic, especially when you're starting off, because you don't know where to focus on. So where the catering can cover a lot of your overhead for the restaurant, a lot of people can't handle the workload difference. And you trying to run a restaurant while at the same time trying to host a dinner party of 50, 60, 100 people, you don't have the staff to do it.
On top of the food is one thing, cooking,
right,
but on top of the setup. And
all of that stuff. So people they move very fast into, like, until I get music production down, I'm not going to go start looking for artists.
Yeah.
Until this is a smooth operating machine where I can leave and it's still operating. Until I can do that, then I can't go out and do nothing else. I learned that from Mike Maloney. That's the guy he runs Garden of Prayer. CEO, I think, of Garden of Prayer. And until he's like, I got these other ideas, but until this runs like a well-oiled machine and I don't even have to be here. You don't know you have I forget who said it, but you don't know you don't have a successful business until you don't have to be there all the time for the business to operate.
Facts.
And so even me talking to a guy yesterday in Best Buy, I'm telling him, look, I'm getting ready to start looking for engineers soon. Basically, so I don't have to be here all the time. I don't have to, like, even my beat selling, like, I don't always have to be working. That's just a way of income. When people go to my BeatStars, they can buy a beat on there or whatever. So, like, even in that, and we go back to the restaurant and just black-owned businesses,
It's really. But I don't want to I don't want to hone in on black-owned businesses because it's really any new entrepreneur, any new business owner.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is, there's a lot of new a lot of new black business owners. There's a lot of new entrepreneurs in this time and this climate right now. Like, and we all really collectively learning together. And the steps we taking right now are gonna be, factors in longevity.
And sometimes we think we have to work in the what's the word? We think we have to exclude other races.
Yeah.
When we're operating because of things being taken from us and because of just the fear of even sometimes being called an Uncle Tom or whatever. Like I see that so often where, I think I got a little bit of my, not a little bit, I got a lot of my knowledge and a little bit of my, I guess you could say, the spirit of business from me being in environments like the country club, where you see the reason why you got rich families that could just continue to be rich. Right now, there's a transition from the older cats to the younger cats at the country club. So this family's kids are hanging out with this family's kids, and now y'all done grew up together at the country club, going swimming, playing golf sometimes, coming and having dinner parties, having Halloween parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now you already know them. They getting handed the business when you get old. When they get older, you getting handed the business when you get older.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
That's how my family gonna be.
Right. And so, but
to be frank, shit.
They all help one another in the country club. And it's not a thing of exclusion where they don't want black people. I don't think so. Because when it comes to money, rich people only see one color, and that's green. People that are making money, if you can affect their bottom line, I think I said this last week. If you can affect their bottom line, they do not care what color you are. If you can bring them money and you can help them make more money, they don't care what color you are.
Yeah, we've been excluded though.
We have been excluded.
We've been excluded in the past.
Yeah,
that's why they're in that position, and that's getting back to what we charging people up front. Getting back to black businesses being new. It's unfair. It's unfair and unnatural to compare a black person. This even go back to dating with black women. There's a big trend right now that black women are dating down. Black women believe that black men ain't nothing. From an overall, like,
that's
a millennial, a young black woman, like, generically speaking, in this time frame, believes that a black man isn't equal to her. You know what I mean? There's young black women who feel like
that has a lot to do with society, though.
That's what I'm getting at, though.
I mean,
because of the mindset, that's the same exact standard that we measuring black businesses to. It's like the black woman measuring the black man to the white man. We can't measure a young black entrepreneur starting a restaurant the same way you measure a McDonald's or even a Subway or even a New York deli, because it's not. You can't. They don't even have the same tools, background, history, like lineage, family, father, the conversations you had at the dinner table. They don't have none of that. So we can't. Black woman, you can't compare the black man to his counterpart, and we can't compare the black business to his counterpart. Like, when we get on, like we spoke about this. I might be on to something else, but when we get on, it's gonna be like we building Egypt in this mud. Like, they're not gonna be able to compare to the stuff that we build.
But you do still have a lot of, from what I see and what I be trying to give people chances.
Yeah,
like black-owned businesses. I try,
and we black focused too. Like,
right?
Of course, we go to the black-owned business because we want to give them a chance.
Right?
Like, I feel you.
But when I see you're not even consistent in growing, you're not even consistent in perfecting what you have right now.
But they don't know how. They don't even.
But we got, man, ain't no excuse.
The fact that they are a black-owned business is a success in itself. Think about how many people are selling plates.
Absolutely.
And now think about the person who made it to the point of opening their doors.
It's a success, but is it good enough? Are you just and that's where I'll say
for them?
Because like right now, not to pat myself on the back or be cocky, this is the best studio in town.
Yeah.
That's not good enough for me. I still gotta grow. I still gotta do better.
But that's to you. You have a different level of
and that's
expectation
what I'm saying.
and level.
And
their
maybe
expectation,
it's a personal thing.
their expectation might have been the chef. Their expectation, their family might have expected them to be the chef at Burger King. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's some people who just want to be the boss at the job. Mm-hmm. Some people want to own the building. You know what I mean?
When you can't do that, good. Not that you always trying to go, but if you brought up Burger King.
Yeah.
I went to Burger King on Skylar a few nights ago. I was going to get, because I like the Impossible.
How was that?
Huh?
I said, how was that?
I pull up to the window.
We was working there probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We running that Burger King.
Of course. They business, our neighborhood, we working.
I pull up to the intercom. Nobody says anything. I say hello. And pull up. It's about 10:30 p.m. They don't close till midnight. Pull up to the window. And a young man is there working drinks. They didn't expect me to pull up to the window.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, y'all still taking orders? Because if not, I'll go somewhere else.
You feel me?
That's fine. I'm cool with that. Y'all still taking orders? Oh, yeah, my bad. I just didn't hear you on the headset. He don't even got a headset on, first of all. He make a drink. He leave. And then he goes, he was like, yeah, he basically told me 1 second. I sit there for 15 minutes. Nobody. There was a guy that was coming around wiping off counters, and I read his lips and was looking at his interaction with the other guy. Basically, like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not working. And so I took a video on my phone, pulled back around the intercom, and say, "I'll be back in the morning to talk to y'all manager."
Tight.
And I left. Next day, I go talk to both the managers outside. Now, it's lunch rush. Both the managers look like us. They outside talking to one another about probably work stuff. I don't know.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
You know.
So I pull up and I try to go in, and she's like, the lobby closed. Okay, cool. It's still kind of COVID out here, so I understand that.
Kind of COVID season.
Right. So I pull up to her and I say, I just wanted to talk to a manager or somebody. I tried to call. Nobody answered the phone. She was like, okay, I'm the man. We both managers. What's going on? I told him about my experience the previous night. One of them was like, I was on that shift. I was running that shift last night, and
Pride.
It's such and such. I heard you the one that pulled around and said you're gonna come back and talk to the manager in the morning. See, I don't think they expected me to come back and talk to the manager. 'Cause I almost didn't, because I was like, that's irrelevant. It's not really that big of a deal. But as a business owner, it is. Because if I have one of my employees, I even call corporate. If I have one of my employees or somebody that's working with me representing me that way, you're supposed to be providing a service, selling me a product. I'm willing to pay for the product, but you don't even want to sell me the product just because you don't feel like working.
Yeah. But it goes back to, it's they business in our neighborhood and we working. I wouldn't be surprised.
True.
When I pull up to Popeyes in the hood, I'm not surprised, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if I pull up to a black-owned spot in a black neighborhood and I'm approached that way, then I'm going to feel disrespect. I'm going to be like, look, man, I came to this neighborhood, to your restaurant, when I could have went to McDonald's. Yeah. I could have went to Burger King.
Yeah. And I will say, the one time I ordered, I'm going to have to start ordering from them a lot more, 5-star. The one time I ordered from there, I walk in and greet with a smile, like, hey, such and such, like, this your order? Yeah, that's my order. Oh, okay. And we, have conversations like black people do. Yeah. And just felt
like that, though.
Right.
You love that as a customer, like.
And so, like, now that you say that, it makes sense. Like you said, it's they restaurant.
I don't expect, bro. And if you working, and think from the worker's perspective, this is Burger King's restaurant in my neighborhood, and I'm working here for Burger King.
Right.
And somebody that look like me is pulling up to give Burger King more money. I don't give a damn about Burger King. If I'm working at Burger King, I don't give a damn about Burger King. So why would I put any effort, passion, care, love into Burger King? Like, That's just how it is. Now, if it was Black Kings, if it was Black Burger
Right.
Kings, it might have been a
McDowell's.
different. You know, hey, you know what I mean? Good burger. You know, who
Right.
knows? But it's just
Yeah.
different, bro.
Yeah, I guess now with that perspective, it is a little, it's different. However, at the same time, like,
It's a character thing too, though. Because
Yeah.
for that worker, but what I will say, like when you in those positions, when you are that worker, your blessings come later. Because anything you can attest.
but it's
Any
in those, because
job-
I've held those positions
Exactly.
before. in
But you
those
worked
kind
them
of
gracefully,
companies.
though.
Right.
You have, but that's why you are where you are. Like I heard this morning, bro. You cannot be a CEO until you're a good worker. You can't do it, and I had to appreciate that about myself. I was never a bad worker. If
Right.
anything, like I was a challenging worker to my
Uh-huh.
managers. I wouldn't, I would do the job and do it well, but I ain't finna do no extra stuff.
Right.
Like I'm just not that guy. This
would-
isn't
that
my
was me.
business. You know what I mean? I'm not
I
finna
would-
do no extra.
Please somebody call off, come in on my day off,
Oh no.
all that stuff. was doing that.
I pitied the guy. Like I saw the guy because they wanted me to be that guy, and I was not that guy. I made it clear from jump, from all my managers, I'm not gonna go like above and beyond. I'm gonna do my job and do it very well, probably better than the person next to me, but I'm not gonna be like. I can't do
That's
it.
how I was.
It's not. I don't want to say. I will say I don't like to see when people do it for their businesses. Another example, I was at Chipotle in Tinley Park. You know how Chipotle in Tinley Park, you know how that get on a lunch hour.
Yeah.
So I notice I walk in, it's Tinley Park, and it's pretty much we working the whole shift. We the managers, we on the meats, we on the little fajitas. We working the whole shift. There's one little white girl in there, but it's pretty much all us. And the young lady that was working the delivery orders, she working the register, delivery orders. She moving like this, bro.
Right,
She
right.
just going like a jitterbug.
Right.
And she must have checked me out, and I was just like, looked her straight in the eye. I was like, hey, don't work too hard for them. Like told her straight up. And her whole demeanor shifted. Like she was, at first she was like pressed up. Her whole demeanor like shifted. And she just nodded. She was like, I feel you. And I walked out. But like the way she was moving, I'm just like, this ain't 1832. You know, that's what I saw. I see all these people in line that don't look like me. I see us behind the counter in they city, and this is their restaurant.
Yeah.
And you working like you don't have to work that hard.
Yeah.
Because you still gonna get paid the same. You already showing me you the hardest worker in here, so they gonna value you. Don't kill yourself. Like that's just what I get down to. I'm not like I try to make it, I'm not like I don't want to be exclusive. Like I'm not Malcolm to any. I don't want to be like that. But we got to realize our own value, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
There's a reason all of y'all are behind that counter.
Right.
You running shifts, bro.
Absolutely.
Everywhere.
Even with that, we got to talk about, because we almost out of time, but we got to talk about, what's the name?
What's that?
Mr. 3800.
Oh, big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Drippy. We got to give a shout out.
Big shout out to him.
Big shout out. I would say he's the first Kankakee bred artist
Signed.
signed from a major, not just like a little label. Like his picture next to 2 Chainz on the same label as Kanye West, DMX, Nas, like with heavy
This
hitters.
is real life.
Not only that, if you look, so he signed to Def Jam. If you look at the artists on Def Jam, I would like to believe he's the youngest on there. Which means, to me, because I look at how the industry moves, which means to me, they're going to put a lot of chips behind him.
LaMelo Ball. Zion.
That's to be honest, like, because they don't sign a lot of young artists.
The thought I just had, think about the pool of prospects. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
That's one
Man.
of one.
I've worked. He's been in here many. I talked to him yesterday, and he still be trying to like tell me, basically, almost like I don't know if he feels like he has to prove himself, but he is like he got to tell me his like resume anytime I talk to him, and I'm like, dude, I've worked with you before. I know what you're capable of. I know I've seen your gift working in process. So I've seen it. you don't gotta explain nothing to me. And he be like, yeah, I know. I've been in there with you many times. And he was like, it's still a lot of songs y'all ain't heard. I said, you got like 13 with me, so I know. And that was just within like a few months. So if that's the case, because he all off the top of the head, like
that's the cat you was telling. You know, I gotta get more in tune because you told me about him. Probably over a year ago, and you were like, he don't write nothing. He just come in and spit.
And I've seen people do it. People come in here and do it like, oh, I'm just gonna freestyle that last part. No, the nigga does an entire song off the top of his head, and I've seen him work. And it's not because people like, you know, well, he just punching in or whatever. No, I've seen where we sitting in there, and he turn on the beat. He started going off the top of his head and got an entire song. And then he picks a different beat.
That's real.
He come in here and write a whole nother different song.
One take.
Right. So like, and then what's mind blowing to me is after he writes his song, he goes back through it and does the ad libs and stuff like that and remembers everything. Like that.
That's talent, bro.
That's a gift. And my grandfather, from what they tell me, had the same talent. The only thing was the industry was run by Wahite people.
Europeans.
But the industry was run by them. So what happened was the guy sitting in that room, in the control room, would take his lyrics, write them down as their own.
Wow.
And they would get all of the credit for that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
That crazy. That happened.
So, like, I was telling him, I was like, it reminds me of my grandfather because he would just get in. They give him a mic, give him a track or a band behind him, and he just get in there and he just go. He zones out and just sings. And so, like, where I've seen Drippy do that, like, live and in person, it's something amazing to watch. And it's not just the lyrics alone because he be talking about stuff.
That's dope too, cause like I always envisioned Kankakee really taking off behind the music. Crazy to sound, cause Kankakee has kind of a unique musical platform sound. Some would say a foundation. Like we've had artists come through here and hold it down for some years, and some artists are longer tenured in the game. Some artists are new, but something like that, bro.
Yeah,
that's bigger than him. I don't know if he as young as
he
he is. That's that's like huge.
One thing
bro,
he was
like,
telling me yesterday, he was like, because he of course gets a lot of hate. And
small town. He need to. Honestly, he need to stay the hell out of Kankakee. I don't know what type of bro.
And it's
he need to stay. And the bigger he gets.
Because he the type of cat, out of Kankakee. He got a lot of like dog in him. Like he willing to take those challenges.
But it's not. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And I think he knows. I'm not even gonna tell his business, but I think he knows that now. He has certain things that are coming to him.
I don't have a personal relationship with him. I hardly listen to his music, regrettably. But I can say, just off the strength of history. People don't really want to see you that big.
Absolutely.
Not from here. And not anytime.
Especially people that have been grinding at the same thing for
the longest time. Getting back to the people who long with tenured
for 2, 3, 4 years, and now all of a sudden everybody's saying your name.
The people who
I've been doing this, and it's people like, I've been doing this 20 years. Look.
Hey. Hey, market speaks.
It does. And so even with that, like, shout out to him, props to him. Congratulations on that major accomplishment. Keep moving, keep doing your thing, like for real. Like
major.
And I told him yesterday, I said not to be cocky or nothing, but I honestly believe me and him are gonna be the two biggest things coming out of Kankakee within the music industry.
I told I always try to mince my words, bro. But I told you long ago, like you already know. You know what I mean? You already. I don't like to project on people, especially when it comes to like how far I can see them go, because I'm an optimist and I'm gonna always see the best in people.
Right.
But like Khaled, bro. Like, straight up, Khaled and Dre is the first people that come to mind. I don't, because you come from a place where you humble, confident, authentically built, like naturally built. You got all the tools to win, bro. There's nothing ingenuine about you. Like, you do stuff you say you gonna do. But I don't see you slowing down.
I'm trying. I appreciate it.
No doubt.
And all of it, and it's gonna be so cool when you get there, because you hear stories about, like, I don't know if you know, but Tyrese and Brandy grew up together, and you hear stories about how people like that. It's like, but y'all not them two, but I've heard stories like people at the top. Like, remember when we was such and such, and we was back at such and such crib, and we was doing, like, you hear stories about that, and you like, dang, so that really be happening.
I'll say this to wrap it up. The first thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is just my own assumption. The first thing that I thought when I seen that he blew up was you had a lot to do with that. That's the first thing. I don't know. I know he has an original sound, but anybody can orate a good sound. To make it sound good to the masses, that takes an engineer. And when you first came on the scene, when I was telling you, Khaled, Dre, I might not even verbally said it. It might have took me, this might be the first time I verbally said that to you. But when I was thinking that, we had this sound in Kankakee for the longest time. It's just a matter of putting it together and putting it out. We never had a master engineer to put these sounds out. And when you take some of the sounds that are here, put that engineer in between and put that out to the masses, stuff like this happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I to be honest, I don't even want to take credit for that, because he came here molded like that.
That it aligned.
And right, and so I'm not gonna say that I had absolutely nothing to do with it, because that would be a conversation that he would have to say, man, linking up with him really did such and such. Because I'm not going to just take credit and be like, because he worked. I will say he worked on his stuff. He learned the programs, even how to record his own self. So he worked on those things, and I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to take the credit for him working. If he says, man, because there are conversations that we've had that we both want to go together and shoot up. Now, if that happens, that I can't guarantee that. He can't guarantee that. But even if we, like, had the conversation yesterday, like, whether we go up together or we meet at the top, like, it is what it is, and we going to rock with either way. And that's cool. And like I said, mad props to him for continuing that grind, recognizing that he has a gift and a talent, and really honing in all the way on it, taking a chance on himself. When people really counted him out, people laughed at him. I know people personally that laughed at him.
Hate, man. It's so hard to
And some of it, I wouldn't say all of it is hate, because there was something like, think about Beyonce. When she first started, trash.
Was she?
Yes. When she was on Destiny's Child, remember she thought she was raw?
But she was
couldn't sing.
She was on Destiny's Child, though.
But she couldn't sing. She looked good. Go back and look at footage of when she was singing, like, lead parts. She couldn't sing that well.
I used to hear that a lot, that B couldn't sing. I wasn't like,
but her mindset was, I'm the greatest. And what matched her mindset was her work ethic. And people could not challenge her on that.
It's passion to take you further than talent.
Right. So now you look at where she is. She's head over heels above pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Because her mindset, her work ethic matched her mindset in the music industry. And so, like, when it comes to Drippy, I really honestly see the same thing. And he's telling me, and I even sometimes, it's not even a hating thing. He just be like, he told me yesterday, I'm the Michael Jackson of our era. And to me, I was thinking in my head, like, okay.
That's real, though.
Slow down. But to have that mindset and the work and put the work in behind it, that's what separates you.
You got to respect it. If you can say that, if you can say that and stand on it and believe it, you going to go far.
Yeah.
If that's what you projecting to
in
your mind, you going to land somewhere in between and be all right and be cool.
But, yeah. So, shout out to him. Props. Put me on the track. Well, we already actually got a track together, but shout out for real. Wish you the best. And even other artists. Look at look at him as an example. That no, it don't matter where you from.
Learn something. Don't hate
just
too
sit
much.
there and hate on him. Like,
learn something
or
pick his brain.
Right. Don't try to use him because you see that he at the top or whatever. Even though I just was like, put me on but like learn something because he can teach me something. It don't matter how old I am, how old he is.
Man, I wish nothing but success for the young man. But I just say one.
You say what?
The bigger he get, stay the hell out your hometown.
Oh,
just being a buck. I don't.
Yeah, because people going.
It's gonna be good people, but
he told me the older crowd, like people our age, be rocking with him. But it's really like people around his age.
But that's the ones who hot anyway. They don't know no different.
Yeah.
They just see him. They don't know no different, bro.
Yeah. But anywho, that's been Real Nonsense. I'm JC.
Jay Clark.
And we'll see y'all 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We gonna be back? Am I gonna be? Are you gonna?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, peace.